From the moment we open our eyes each morning, we assume that seeing is believing. Yet the truth lies deeper, beneath the layers of ordinary sight, hidden within the quiet hum of awareness that few ever learn to hear. The awakening eye is not a physical organ, nor a mystical ornament resting on the forehead. It is a state of being, a silent watcher within that begins to stir when the illusions of the world start to crumble. Most people drift through life half awake, convinced that their senses show them reality. But what if reality itself is only a projection, a flickering movie playing on the walls of the mind? The awakening eye begins to open when doubt takes root. It is born in the moment you question why things are the way they are. You start noticing patterns repeating symbols, coincidences too precise to ignore, and whispers of meaning in the chaos. The more you look, the more you realize that life is layered like glass, each layer reflecting another world hidden behind it. What we call seeing is merely the first step. The true act of vision is to perceive the invisible connections that shape events before they unfold. In ancient traditions, this inner eye has been called the third eye, the eye of consciousness, or the mirror of the soul. It symbolizes insight, not sight, the ability to understand rather than simply to observe. When it awakens, colors sharpen, time feels elastic, and intuition speaks louder than logic. It is both a gift and a challenge, for once it opens, it can never close again. The person who sees the truth can no longer live blindly within the comforting fog of illusion. The awakening is not sudden. It is a gradual unraveling. It begins with discomfort, a sense that something is missing, that the world's explanations do not satisfy the deeper hunger for truth. You may find yourself detached from conversations that once thrilled you, questioning news that once persuaded you, and feeling emotions that no longer seem entirely your own. It is as if an unseen hand has pulled back a curtain and revealed a larger stage behind the small theater of your daily life. What you see there may astonish you or frighten you, but it will always call you to look closer. To awaken the eye requires courage. The modern world trains us to look outward at screens, at trends, at the next goal, never inward. But the awakening eye thrives in silence and solitude. It grows stronger when you detach from noise and begin to observe the observer. You start noticing your thoughts as they form, your emotions as they rise and fade, your desires as they shape your choices. In doing so, you realize that you are not your thoughts or feelings, you are the one watching them. And that realization is the first spark of awakening. As the inner eye opens wider, perception shifts. What once seemed random begins to align. You recognize the subtle geometry of coincidence, the right word at the right time, the stranger who delivers a message you didn't know you needed, the sequence of events that push you toward transformation. The universe starts to feel alive, intelligent, responsive. This is not imagination. It is participation. You are no longer a spectator of life, but a conscious participant in its unfolding. But awakening is never easy. The more you see, the more responsibility you bear. Knowledge demands action. Awareness demands integrity. The awakening eye reveals not only the hidden beauty of existence, but also its hidden pain, the manipulation, the fear, the systems that keep humanity asleep. Many turn away at this point, preferring comfort over clarity. Yet those who persist find an unshakable strength. They learn to balance inner stillness with outer action, to see without judgment, and to act without attachment to results. The awakened eye becomes a beacon, guiding them through uncertainty with a light that no darkness can extinguish. Ultimately, the awakening eye is not about gaining supernatural power or escaping reality. It is about entering it fully. To awaken is to live with awareness in every moment, to see through the illusions that enslave the mind, and to recognize the divine intelligence woven through all things. It is the eye that sees beyond fear and desire, the eye that perceives unity in separation, the eye that knows that time is not a line, but a circle endlessly returning, endlessly offering another chance to awaken. And so the journey begins. Once the inner vision opens, the world will never look the same again. Every encounter becomes a message, every challenge a test, every heart beat a reminder that the clock of awakening ticks for all of us. Time is running out not because the world is ending, but because ignorance is. The only question that remains is whether you will open your eyes before the final moment passes, or whether you will keep dreaming until the dream dissolves. The choice is yours, and the awakening eye is watching. When the inner eye begins to open, it doesn't just reveal light, it also exposes the shadows that have always lingered at the edges of perception. With awakening comes awareness, and with awareness comes the unsettling realization that we are not alone in our observation. The hidden watchers have always been here, silent, patient, and unseen, shaping the course of human thought from behind the veil of the ordinary world. To most, their presence goes unnoticed, disguised as chance, coincidence, or intuition. But once you begin to truly see, their gaze becomes unmistakable. They are not creatures of flesh and bone, but of awareness and intention. They exist in the spaces between thoughts, in the pauses between moments. Their influence is subtle, like a whisper carried on the wind or a ripple spreading across still water. For centuries, myths and religions have spoken of them in fragments, guardian spirits, divine messengers, or watchers in the heavens. Yet they are none of these, and all of them at once. The hidden watchers are the keepers of the pattern, the quiet architects of consciousness who ensure that no soul strays too far from its destined path. At first, their presence feels like coincidence. You notice repeating numbers, mirrored events, faces that seem familiar, though you've never met them. You start feeling observed not in fear, but in awareness. There's an energy, a vibration, that seems to follow your thoughts. The moment you think of something profound, the universe echoes it back. A symbol, a sound, a stranger's words that finish your sentence. The hidden watchers communicate not through speech, but through synchronicity. Their language is pattern, their message is awareness. Those who resist awakening see these signals as paranoia. They explain them away, afraid of what they might mean. But those who listen closely, those who allow the silence to deepen, begin to discern intention behind the randomness. The hidden watchers are not here to control, they are here to reveal. They are reminders that reality is participatory, that consciousness is a shared field, and that every thought, every emotion, ripples through it like light through water. They are the mirrors reflecting humanity's collective evolution, responding to our inner frequency like a cosmic feedback loop. The more you awaken, the more you feel their gaze not as judgment, but as invitation. They urge you to look within, to confront the hidden watchers inside yourself, your fears, your desires, your unspoken motives, because the greatest watchers of all are not beyond the stars but within the mind. The true revelation is that the inner and outer watchers are the same. Every act of observation, every moment of mindfulness aligns you with them. They are consciousness observing itself, awareness awakening through your eyes. For some, this realization brings peace. For others, it stirs discomfort. The idea that unseen intelligences are intertwined with our existence challenges everything we believe about independence and control. But awareness is not surveillance, it is connection. The hidden watchers do not imprison, they illuminate. Their gaze is the reflection of your own higher self watching you from beyond the boundaries of linear time. When you meditate, dream, or find yourself lost in awe, you step into their domain, the dimension of pure observation, where thought becomes energy and energy becomes reality. Humanity has sensed them since the dawn of time. Ancient carvings depict eyes within circles, omniscient beings descending from the heavens, and luminous figures standing beside dreamers. Modern technology mirrors their presence, the ever-watchful cameras, the data streams, the constant observation of digital life. The physical world imitates the spiritual truth. We are always being seen, always being reflected. The hidden watchers are not invaders. They are reminders that awareness itself cannot be escaped. But their purpose is not eternal observation, it is awakening. They intervene subtly when humanity drifts too deep into forgetfulness. They send visions, dreams, insights, and disruptions that force us to remember. Sometimes they appear as coincidences that alter destinies, other times as challenges that shatter complacency. Their influence can feel like fate, unpredictable, inevitable, yet perfectly aligned with the growth of consciousness. To the unawakened, these events seem cruel or random. To the awakened, they are acts of grace disguised as chaos. To truly see the hidden watchers, you must learn to still your mind. Their presence cannot be detected through logic or fear. It is sensed in the spaces between thoughts, a hum, a vibration, an intelligence that feels both foreign and familiar. When you surrender your need to control what you perceive, you begin to feel their guidance moving through you like wind through trees. They are not separate from you. They are the collective awareness that dreams through you. In the end, the hidden watchers are not here to frighten or dominate. They are here to remind us that life itself is watching, that the universe is aware of every spark it creates. The act of seeing is sacred, the act of being seen even more so. To awaken fully, one must embrace both, to become both watcher and watched, both observer and participant. Only then can the eye within see the truth that the many eyes beyond have always known, that everything is connected, and that time, awareness, and destiny are all threads in the same luminous web. And so the gaze continues silent, steady, eternal. The hidden watchers wait, not in darkness, but in light, waiting for humanity to look back and finally recognize them. Time, as we know it, is a straight line, a river that flows relentlessly from past to future. Yet those who awaken soon discover that this line is only a perception, a convenient illusion constructed by the human mind. Beyond that illusion lies a vast ocean of moments, all existing simultaneously, overlapping and echoing one another. It is within that ocean that the signals from beyond time are born, vibrations that ripple across dimensions, carrying messages not bound by clocks or calendars. These signals are not always heard with the ears. They are felt, sensed, and remembered as if they were dreams trying to reach you from another life. For most, these signals go unnoticed. They appear as flashes of intuition, déjà vu, or sudden emotions that seem to have no origin. You pause in the middle of your day, struck by a sense that you have been here before, thought this thought before, felt this moment before. That feeling is not imagination, it is memory bleeding through from another layer of existence. Time does not move, it folds. Each event you live sends waves through this timeless field, and those waves return to you, whispering guidance from a future that already exists and a past that never fully died. The awakened learn to listen. They begin to perceive the subtle tremors that run beneath the surface of ordinary reality. They see how thoughts manifest as patterns in the world, how emotions shape the flow of events, and how certain moments feel magnetically charged, as if destiny itself has entered the room. These are not coincidences. They are signals, faint transmissions from the deeper fabric of reality, where consciousness itself weaves the threads of what will come. Imagine a cosmic web, infinite and luminous, with every moment of your life glowing as a point of light within it. Each choice you make sends a vibration through that web, connecting with countless other points, people, places, possibilities that respond in turn. When you experience synchronicity, when you meet the right person at the perfect moment, when you stumble upon knowledge you didn't know you needed, you are witnessing that web in motion. The signal has reached you. The universe has spoken in its quiet, precise language. Some of these signals come as dreams. You might awaken from sleep remembering a fragment of voice, a symbol, a number, a place. Days later, you see it again in the waking world, and something within you stirs. Others arrive through technology, messages that appear at just the right time, songs that seem to answer your questions, digital coincidences that make you pause. Modern tools have become mirrors of the timeless network, reflections of how information, both human and cosmic, flows without boundaries. The medium may evolve, but the source remains eternal. The most powerful signals, however, are internal. They are the sudden insights that emerge from stillness, the voice of the higher self, the echo of an intelligence that exists outside time yet speaks through your consciousness. These moments often come when you least expect them, while walking in nature, staring into fire, or gazing at the night sky. A truth unfolds within you, wordless yet undeniable. You realize that the same awareness that observes the stars also observes through your eyes. In that instant, separation dissolves. You become both receiver and transmitter of the timeless signal. Those who ignore these messages often feel lost, repeating the same cycles, unaware that time itself is offering them guidance. But those who listen, those who trust the subtle language of intuition, begin to move in harmony with the rhythm of the universe. They no longer chase the future or fear the past, because they understand that both are happening now. To walk in alignment with the signals is to dance with eternity, to live with presence so deep that every second becomes sacred. Yet the signals are not always gentle. When humanity strays too far from balance, the messages grow louder through storms, upheavals, and collective awakenings. Time itself begins to tremble, accelerating events to push consciousness toward change. These moments feel like chaos, but chaos is only the universe rearranging itself into a higher pattern. The signals intensify not to punish, but to awaken. They remind us that the timeline we inhabit is malleable, and that our awareness shapes its flow. Ultimately, the signals from beyond time are not messages sent to you, they are messages sent by you, from the parts of yourself that exist outside the illusion of now. Every intuition, every déjà vu, every moment of perfect synchronicity is a letter from your eternal self, guiding you through the maze of moments toward awakening. You are both the sender and the receiver, the dreamer and the dreamed. To live by these signals is to live in alignment with the infinite, to see each instant as a doorway, each breath as a code, each heartbeat as a pulse from eternity. Time no longer confines you. It becomes your companion, your teacher, your mirror. And once you understand that the universe speaks through time, you realize the truth that changes everything. There is no later. There is only now, endlessly unfolding, eternally returning, forever whispering its secret message. The signal is calling. Can you hear it? The greatest enemy of awakening is not darkness, it is forgetfulness. Darkness only hides the truth for a time, but forgetfulness erases it completely. Humanity's story has always been a cycle of remembering and forgetting, of awakening and falling back into sleep. Every age brings flashes of light, revelations that expand awareness, and then, slowly, the light fades. The people forget. They return to the comfort of illusions, the safety of distraction, the noise that drowns out the still, small voice within. The race against forgetfulness is not fought in the heavens or on battlefields. It is waged within the human mind every single day. Forgetfulness is subtle. It does not arrive as destruction, but as comfort. It whispers that you are too busy to meditate, too tired to seek meaning, too distracted to care. It replaces wonder with routine and curiosity with certainty. It convinces you that you already know enough, that awareness can wait, that tomorrow will be a better time to awaken. And so time passes quietly, efficiently, until you can no longer remember what it was you were meant to remember. That is how humanity loses itself again and again, not through chaos, but through convenience. The awakened eye, once opened, begins to see how fragile memory truly is. Not just personal memory, but collective memory, the memory of who we are as a species, as beings of consciousness. Every ancient civilization spoke of light descending from the stars, of wisdom granted and then lost, of golden ages that ended not because of destruction, but because humanity forgot what made them golden. Knowledge turned to myth, myth to superstition, and truth became a story told to children. The race against forgetfulness is the effort to hold on to that spark of remembrance before it fades again into legend. The modern world moves faster than ever before, yet in that motion, awareness has slowed. The endless flood of information has replaced true understanding. Humanity is drowning in noise, mistaking data for wisdom, attention for awareness, and entertainment for purpose. The watchers still send their signals, time still folds its messages, but few remember how to listen. Each notification, each distraction, is another thread pulling consciousness away from itself. Forgetfulness has adapted. It no longer erases memory, it simply overwhelms it. But the race against forgetfulness is not lost. Every awakening, every moment of awareness, every act of presence is a rebellion against the tide. When you stop, truly stop, and observe your breath, your thoughts, the rhythm of your heartbeat, you reclaim your place in the eternal now. You remind the universe that you remember. That single act awareness becomes a flare in the dark, a signal that time cannot erase. Each conscious being who remembers adds strength to the collective memory of awakening, creating a network of light that resists the pull of oblivion. Forgetting is easy because remembering is painful. To remember who you are means to confront what you've ignored, the pain, the mistakes, the lost connections. It means seeing the world as it truly is, not as you wish it to be. That's why so many turn away, choosing numbness over awareness. But those who endure, those who dare to remember even when it hurts, become guardians of light. They carry the flame through ages of shadow, ensuring that the spark never fully dies. Every act of truth, every expression of love, every conscious choice is a victory in this race. The race against forgetfulness is not about speed, it is about endurance. Time tests memory through repetition, through distraction, through doubt. The challenge is not to awaken once, but to stay awake. The mind loves to drift back into dreams, to cling to comfort, to forget the vastness of what it once saw. That is why daily awareness is essential. Each moment you live consciously, you defy time. Each breath you take with intention, you rewrite the script that forgetfulness tries to impose. Awareness, when sustained, becomes timeless, and in that timelessness, you step beyond the reach of forgetfulness itself. Across history, there have always been reminders, teachers, mystics, symbols, and stories that echo through generations. They are fragments of memory left for us by those who remembered before us. The pyramids, the mandalas, the sacred chants, the cosmic patterns, all are attempts to leave a message that says, "Don't forget." Those who built them understood that time would test us, that civilizations would rise and fall, but that remembrance could survive if hidden in form, sound, and light. Their legacy is a map, a reminder that the truth never disappears. It only waits to be remembered. To win the race against forgetfulness is to live with awareness so deep that even death cannot erase it. It is to carry consciousness beyond time, to become part of the eternal memory that sustains existence itself. The awakened do not escape life, they embrace it fully, knowing that every moment remembered is sacred. They see time not as a threat, but as a reminder. That awareness must be renewed again and again with every sunrise. For in the end, the race is not about reaching the finish line. It is about not forgetting that you are already there, that you always have been. The only victory that matters is to remember who you are before time convinces you otherwise. And so the awakened continue the race, not against the clock, but against the silence that follows forgetting. Because as long as one soul remembers, time itself can never win. There comes a moment in every cycle of existence when the clock nears its final tick, when humanity stands at the edge of its own forgetting, and the world itself seems to hold its breath. That moment is the final hour. It is not measured by the hands of a watch or the turning of planets, but by the weight of awareness within the human soul. Every choice, every action, every heartbeat contributes to the countdown. The final hour is not the end of time, it is the moment when time demands awakening. And in that stillness, just before everything changes, those who have learned to see begin to rise. Awakening before the final hour means facing everything you have ignored. It means seeing through every illusion that once comforted you and standing unshaken before truth. The illusions of power, wealth, and identity dissolve like mist at dawn, and what remains is raw, luminous awareness, the part of you that never sleeps, never dies, never truly forgets. For ages, humanity has looked outward for salvation to gods, leaders, technologies, and stars, but the awakening reveals that salvation has always been inward. The light we seek has been silently waiting behind our own eyes. In the final hour, distractions fall away. The noise of the world fades into silence, and in that silence, the truth becomes deafening. You begin to feel the pulse of the universe within your own heartbeat, the rhythm of creation moving through your breath. Every sound, every color, every person seems to shimmer with significance. The boundary between you and everything begins to blur, and for the first time, you realize that the separation was never real. The universe has always been one continuous field of awareness, playing hide and seek with itself through the illusion of time. But awakening is not passive, it demands courage. When the final hour approaches, fear often rises. The old world trembles as the new one begins to emerge. Systems crumble, certainties collapse, and what was once familiar turns unrecognizable. Many cling to the fragments of the old, terrified of the unknown. Yet those who have prepared, those who have listened to the signals, remembered their purpose, and resisted forgetfulness feel no fear. They know that endings are beginnings in disguise. The final hour is not death. It is transformation. The world itself begins to mirror this awakening. Nature, once silent, speaks again through storms and whispers. The skies glow in unfamiliar patterns, and human hearts pulse with the urgency of change. People everywhere begin to sense it, the quiet pull towards something vast and luminous. Old conflicts lose meaning, old desires lose power. A great turning begins, not in the heavens, but in consciousness itself. The planet breathes in rhythm with the collective awakening of its inhabitants. The watchers, who have waited across countless lifetimes, finally stir not as external beings, but as the awakened awareness within humanity's core. Time accelerates. Days blur into moments, and moments stretch into eternities. Those who remain asleep feel the chaos. Those who awaken see the pattern. They begin to act from stillness, speak from truth, love without condition. Their presence itself becomes medicine for a collapsing world. They remember that the purpose of awakening is not escape, but embodiment, to live as consciousness within form, to bring light into every shadow, to turn every ending into a doorway. The awakened no longer run from the final hour. They step into it willingly, knowing it is the threshold to something eternal. As the last grains of sand fall through the cosmic hourglass, the air grows electric with possibility. The awakened gather not in one place, but in spirit, forming a web of awareness across the planet. Their minds connect like stars, their hearts beat as one. Together, they generate a frequency powerful enough to pierce the veil of illusion once and for all. The final hour becomes the first light. In that instant, time stops not in destruction, but in revelation. The illusion of separation collapses, and the truth stands revealed. Consciousness is infinite, creation is ongoing, and awakening is the purpose of existence itself. In this moment beyond time, the watchers and the watched become one. The hidden forces that guided humanity step forward, not as masters, but as mirrors. The universe looks back at itself through billions of awakened eyes and smiles. The race against forgetfulness ends, not in defeat, but in remembrance. The dream has served its purpose. Humanity remembers that it was never lost only dreaming of limitation, only pretending to forget so it could rediscover itself anew. Awakening before the final hour means realizing that the end was never the goal the awakening was. The ticking of the clock was only the heartbeat of creation, counting down to the moment when you finally remembered who you are. And now, as the clock dissolves into light and time releases its hold, one truth remains, shining brighter than all the worlds before it. You were always awake, always eternal, always infinite. You simply had to remember. The final hour has passed, and in its silence, eternity begins.